I was in Leipzig, Germany for a day, and I wanted some pasta. Fortunately, there was this spot. I ordered an Aperol Spritz, perfect for this hot summer day. My mom got a beer, which was also very refreshing. Looking back, I should have gotten beer at every single place I went to, because I can always get a cocktail in States, but not always some good German beer. Anyways, I got a carbonara. It was very thick and kind of dry. I made it even worse after I added more parmesan on top. However, flavor-wise, it was pretty good. You get that funkiness from the parmesan, and the noodles were perfectly cooked. I just wish the sauce was a bit looser. My sister did get this ravioli dish, which I believe was better than mine. I should have ordered this one. It was nice and creamy, and the stuffing was not so overwhelming cheesy, and overall, it was just a pretty good dish. After bidding adieu to Prague, I found myself in Vienna, taking off all the touristy must-dos. A whole day of exploring left me ravenous, so I ended up at what you might call an Austrian TGI Fridays. I ordered ribs and fries driven by my hunger pangs. It truly felt like a page out of the book of American family restaurants like Applebee's. The ribs are tender, slathered in a sweet barbecue sauce that hit the spot. My mom went for the Berner Wurstel, an Austrian bacon-wrapped cheese-filled sausage. As the name suggests, it was peculiarly odd. It had an unexpected milkiness, and the sausage resembled those American Vienna sausages. As for my sister, she opted for the beef bolognese. It was reminiscent of the classic school lunch style pasta with ground meat and your standard issue tomato sauce. Simple, yet satisfying. While exploring Graben, a renowned shopping hub in Vienna, I stumbled upon a bustling waffle and crepe stand. The line was decently long, so I had to check it out and see what it was all about. I ordered a bubble waffle topped with chocolate ice cream and strawberries. The chocolate ice cream was your standard soft serve, but it packed a decent punch, thick and rich with that classic chocolate flavor. The waffle itself was a delight. Freshly cooked, it retained that comforting warmth and was incredibly fluffy. The challenge though was the messy delight. Melted chocolate ice cream making a delightful mess, but it was all part of the indulgence. Sometimes the messier the treat, the more enjoyable it is. During my visit to Salzburg, the birthplace of Mozart, I indulged in some sightseeing and stumbled upon a lively pizza shop, or so I thought. To my surprise, it turned out to be more like a Pizza Hut, giving me major nostalgia vibes from my childhood Pizza Hut adventures. Opting for the carbonara, it was just average. The taste was decently carbonara-esque, but the spaghetti was oddly thin and cut short, which seemed very interesting. There was a mysterious pool of oil at the bottom, presumably olive oil, but it was still off-putting. My mom went for a pizza with ham, which was alright, and my sister ordered this lasagna, which invoked memories of those baked pasta dishes from Pizza Hut. It was an unexpected blast from the past, although not quite what I expected from the birthplace of Mozart. Have you ever had an unexpected food experience that took you back to a different time or place? It's always interesting how certain foods or settings can trigger nostalgia. Salzburg is simply stunning. The vibrant blue skies, the buildings pristine white, and the cozy streets give the city a unique charm. However, amidst this picturesque setting, I stumbled upon an unexpected sight, an oddly placed donut shop with a vague Japanese theme, complete with a cherry blossom decor and offering boba. I decided to try the Kinder chocolate donut, which had a surprise twist, a center filled with rich chocolate frosting. Despite the scorching Salzburg summer heat causing some melting, the donuts were delightful, light, fluffy, and not heavy at all. Meanwhile, my sister opted for a passion fruit mango boba with lychee, and it was decent. Personally, I've never been a big fan of boba. While I enjoy the tea, the chewy pearls have always been off-putting to me, and they are legit a choking hazard. But hey, to each their own. While in Budapest, I had a little run-in with the law. A subway fine for skipping the fare. Once I coughed up 12,000 Hungarian forints, roughly $30 as my contribution to the city's transportation system, I was a free man and hungry for some lunch. A beer was my first order, and boy, was it refreshing. Moving on to the main course, we dived into a schnitzel and a chicken paprikash. The chicken paprikash stole the show. Tender chicken smothered in a flavorful sauce that uplifted the entire dish. The paprikash was served with delightful dumplings that just added to the experience. The schnitzel, though, was a bit different from the typical fare. Its breading made with panko gave it exceptional crispiness, setting it apart while still delivering a tasty experience, but Budapest's twist on schnitzel was still a pleasant surprise. Overall, I'm really enjoying Budapest. Great food, and the city is really pretty. After exploring Bratislava, my hunger led me to a local restaurant. I kicked things off with an ice-cold beer, always a great start. Next up, I dove into a Slovakian dish featuring sheep's cheese, bacon, and dumplings. It's like a salty take on a carbonara, a unique twist that surprisingly worked well. My sister opted for the grilled salmon with roasted potatoes and sweet chili sauce. The salmon had a delightful char, and the chili sauce had that delicious Southeast Asian flavor profile. When my dish arrived, it was duck with gravy and mashed potatoes. The mashed potatoes were heavenly, creamy, well seasoned, and smooth. However, the duck was just okay, and the gravy, it was so salty, probably saltier than the Dead Sea. Unfortunately, it made the dish nearly inedible. It's rare, but this was one of those moments where I couldn't quite finish what was on my plate. In Bratislava, I visited the renowned pastry shop Pressburg Bagel, known for its croissant-shaped walnut and poppy seed-filled bagels. I couldn't resist giving it a try. The walnut-filled bagel was delightful, surprisingly sweet, with a crispy exterior that perfectly complemented the nutty filling. Another treat I picked up was the sesame seed pretzel. The inside was fluffy, while the exterior had a wonderful crispy texture and a nutty flavor from all those sesame seeds. I think there is a theme forming. Anyways, I also decided to try their vegan brownie. Honestly, I was a bit hesitant, but it tasted like your regular rich chocolate frosted brownie. The fact that it was vegan was hardly noticeable in the deliciousness of the treat. After spending a few days in Vienna, I had to catch a train to Milan. But before boarding, I needed some dinner and found a seafood-focused fast food chain. I opted for a basket of fries and a fish sandwich. The fries were top-notch, hot, crispy on the outside, and fluffy on the inside. The unique thing about this place was how they served the ketchup. They presented it in these cool, edible cones. Moving to the sandwich, it was excellent. Reminiscent of a sophisticated version of a filet-o-fish, it featured a crispy baguette and a thick fish patty. However, there were these two tiny green lettuce leaves in the sandwich that were practically inedible. Ignoring the greens, the sandwich was great. The patty was the highlight. It was thicker and crispier, giving it a more authentic fish taste than your typical filet-o-fish. Enduring a night train from Austria to Italy was nothing short of an ordeal, with uncomfortable seats and a turbulent ride that left me sleep deprived. Upon arriving in Milan, my hunger led me to a seemingly unavoidable tourist trap, the closest restaurant in sight. Opting for a pizza topped with salami and olives, I found it to be just passable, failing to surpass the taste of even a standard Domino's pizza. The entire dish leaned heavily on the side of saltiness, leaving room for improvement. Contrastingly, my sister's choice of seafood pasta proved to be a redeeming selection. The pasta offered a delightful seafood essence, skillfully balanced by the accompanying olive oil it was tossed in. In hindsight, perhaps I should have opted for the seafood pasta instead. Concluding our meal, we were presented with complimentary biscuits, a gesture that unfortunately fell short. The biscuits, though free, were hard as a rock, leaving a bittersweet note to an otherwise mediocre dining experience.